That's gonna be a killer thumbnail.
It will be. Yeah, we're just commenting that I don't know, my thumbnails. I mean, you can get anyone you want though, right?
Your
So
thumbnail game needs some fucking work, dude.
thank
Although
you.
actually, I kind of want to just continue this thread of like the worst thumbnails in history.
I mean, they could be better for sure. I mean, they're just literally screen grabs off of the video. I need to definitely up my game. I'm more of a boomer in that way, where it's just that looks good.
You need a Gen Z intern, a Zintern.
I should have a kid do it. Actually, he's got pretty good taste and stuff. But
Yeah,
he'd be
you
like,
should.
oh yeah,
It
yeah,
would. You'd end up like those Instagram videos where they're like, "My Gen Z intern wrote the script for my thing," and it's just like out of control. Hello, fellow
I'll have
kids.
to use like yeah, like Riz and whatever other
Riz,
words.
skibbity,
Yeah, is that a word now? Is it?
slay girl. Some of my friends are Gen Z. Don't hate me, you guys. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. Nah. What are you? You're like a millennial, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm Gen X, so
I don't know
older.
if I'm technically an elder millennial. I kind of like the sound of that though. It sounds like a Lord of the Rings like species.
Carly of the Shire.
Carly of the Shire of the Elder Millennial.
Oh dear. Well, cool. How you been?
Pretty good. Just hanging
Nice.
out.
Cool. My
Yeah.
dog's going on hinge right now. Um, yeah, yeah. I think we wanted to. We're actually working on an article which will be out, I think, this week, and we are just chatting about it. Chatting about this topic, which is the true cost of replacing engineers with AI. And there's a lot more to it, I suppose. There's can talk about why AI projects fail and why everything fails.
It's so funny to me that like it became such well-known knowledge that like all ML projects fail, right? Like everyone would say that. They're like 80% of everything is fucked. And like then you get to this AI thing and they're like, "No, but this is different. It's different this time. These are not going to fail." And it's like they're going to. It
Yeah,
always has been, right? Like this is the way of the world. At least 80% of this stuff is going to fail. There's no way.
yeah, yeah. I think especially if you're trying to build this stuff in house or integrate. I mean, the big difference though is that the models you can get an OpenAI API key and call that or Gemini, and so
That's true.
yeah, so you could definitely do that, and that works well. But I think the supposition is now a lot of the big companies are like, well, we can just not even hire engineers anymore, and we'll just have AI do a lot of the work. What do you think about that?
I think that it sounds good on paper if you're trying to balance your balance sheet.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like a reasonable proposition, but when you really dig into it, I think what I've seen is now companies are just hiring AI engineers and acting like that's somehow different. Because someone has to build the architecture for
Hmm.
the things that are going to replace all these engineers. So you're just going to end up with engineering staff doing different stuff.
Hmm. It seems
I,
to be the case. Yeah.
I haven't seen any sort of like I feel like the layoffs that have been happening, like Meta, it still is from them overhiring. It's not because they're successfully replacing anyone. They're just changing their reasons for why they're laying off from we overhired to we're replacing you. But I don't think that's the truth.
Well, I mean, it was interesting. Last week, Meta did 3,500 layoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I had some friends in that one, and one of them, I mean, he was at Meta for 3 months and got
Damn.
cut.
And they're saying they're underperformers. He's like, I didn't even get a chance to perform at all. Like
Yeah, I
3 months,
mean,
how do you know?
it's a 90-day grace period, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
you're just learning things. I mean, that told me that they're not even trying anymore.
Mm-mm.
They're just like, you're gone.
Yeah.
You didn't even get a chance to start. Um,
That's rough. That sucks.
yeah, and then it kind of flies in the face of the narrative, like you said, 'cause it was supposed to be underperformers, right? So
Yes.
unless he was like literally sleeping on the job the whole time, which I mean, maybe he was, I don't know.
Spent his first 60 days at Meta just asleep on his desk with like keyboard imprints on his face.
anything's possible. But then, this particular person, has a good work ethic and stuff, and I can't see him doing that. So
There's
that's,
no way.
yeah.
It seems so transparent to me, and maybe I'm falling into their trap, like, I'm playing checkers and they're playing 4D chess or something, but like something about this all just does not line up for me and it just doesn't pass the sniff test. I don't know.
What
I
doesn't
think
line up
I
for you?
I think it's a lot of posturing. I think it's what do they call it? It's like wishful thinking. They're future faking. They're like trying to
Mm,
future fake their investors and stakeholders into thinking like, oh yeah, of course we're going to replace all these people who are so expensive, right? Because what's the most expensive thing for any company? It's like personnel, and engineers are of the most expensive.
mhm.
And so if you can make an appreciable impact in like the number of engineers you have to hire, you're signaling that like, no, we're going to actually save money. I think
Oh
what
yeah.
I think the quiet part that they don't want to say out loud is that they've overpaid for all this AI research and they're not getting the ROI they want yet, and they need some way to justify the money that they're spending.
Oh, big time. Yeah. Yeah, I think every company's been throwing a lot, and Wall Street Journal had an article recently where all the big tech companies are just going to keep plowing money into it no matter
Yeah.
what, because and the rationale really is like this is sort of like if you had laid the railroad tracks back in the day, or the pipes for the internet, the tubes for the internet, then
Hmm.
this is sort of the equivalent investment. But I think the big difference is the investment in these models, right? I mean, I've never seen anything where it's so expensive to build something and they become so obsolete so quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. And then, even OpenAI is pretty much admitting that, this GPT-5 that was supposed to come out, it probably won't be exactly what they want. But then again, you got people like Sam Altman saying, promising President Trump that they'll have AGI by within his term, and whatever that means. The goalpost keeps moving, I suppose. So, I mean, perhaps you do, perhaps you don't. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of posturing for sure. But then again, there's a lot of money to be made in the graft of this whole thing, and so, but your incentive is to keep pushing and escalating these stories. So,
I mean, I think you're right, right? Like to me it feels like 2025 has already turned into the year of shifting the goalposts, right? Like it feels like it keeps happening everywhere. But
mm,
you're very right. It's very prominent in this area because it keeps being like, oh, AGI is right around the corner. Just wait until you see the next model. It's going to be groundbreaking.
hmm.
And they are getting better. Like, it's crazy how fast things have escalated. But that doesn't come without a cost. And the question is, who's going to keep footing the bill? And are investors willing to keep throwing money at this when everyone knows you do reach an inflection point where things don't get exponentially better forever, right?
Hmm.
Like you end up with just incremental gains after a while.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and I mean, you're looking at this in the face of potentially higher costs across the board because of tariffs and
Hmm.
trade wars and all this other stuff. So it'll be very interesting. And yeah, yeah. But whenever I see like Masayoshi's son from SoftBank in the mix, then I'm like, okay, like definitely party time. So,
Party
and
time.
it'll probably end like
They're just,
catastrophically bad.
yeah, flinging dollars.
Yeah.
AI is the strip club, and they're
Well, I
just
mean, it
out
kind of
there.
is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's a big one. But then, even Europeans now, or they had their AI Act last year, EU AI Act, and now they're talking to some Europeans there. They're like, well, maybe we shouldn't be so hardcore in regulating. So, I mean, JD Vance was there last week at the AI summit in Paris, basically saying, if the regulations are good for America, we'll go along, and if they aren't, then whatever. And people are like, well, crap, like look how fast America's moving with this stuff. I guess we should reconsider. So yeah, I mean, they spent like I think the EUA Act started working on it in 2017 or 2018. One of my friends, Kai Zenner, was one of the original architects of it. So a lot of work went into it, and it'll be interesting to see.
Do you think
That
they're gonna gut it?
I don't know. I mean, Europe's tendency is just to regulate the shit out of everything. But it's
Yeah.
interesting because there's dozens of similar acts in the United States. Each state or a lot of states have individually their own versions of this. So it'd be interesting. Like on one hand, we say we don't need it. On the other hand, states are already doing it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But
And you know what's funny is like very, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised, but it was very like prescient for me in the moment when DeepSeek came along.
mm,
Like it could not have been timed better if you wanted to disrupt the narrative,
yep.
like the story time that all of the US companies were telling about AI, right?
Hmm.
Do you think
Yeah.
that that was like good planned timing for China? Like,
It was a very good coincidence. Um, I mean, because it's around the time that Stargate was just announced, right? So we're going to need like $500 billion to build out this massive infrastructure and energy project
yeah,
for data centers. And I was talking to somebody who actually was working on Stargate, and the only thing I could think of is it seems like it's going to be a money grab, and like
is
and
this the
they
Hawk Tuah coin of tech?
Stargate's like the Tua toy. I mean, it kind of is in a way. I mean, I mean, more power to you if you want to build an infrastructure. But I turned to Hala Nelson was hanging out with me at this event where, and I turned to her and I was like, you know, you understand the math behind AI. Like, could we at least like devote some attention to like better math that's more efficient, so we don't need to like resurrect old nuclear plants just to make
Just to
these
make
bigger
it.
models. Yeah, it's like this seems really inefficient. But then then it occurred to me about a minute later, like, oh well, if there's $500 billion, there'll be no incentive to make things more efficient.
No way.
No, just throw more chips.
You
So
know what else is funny about this as we talk about like starts and stops and things that fail? Back when I was a chemist, I had been interviewing at a nuclear energy facility. And like something maybe like 80%, like the same as ML, of nuclear plants never actually get fully off the ground.
oh, interesting,
Yeah, it
interesting,
has like some insane failure rate because they're so expensive to build and they're so hyper regulated that by the time if I remember this, this was like, more than a decade ago, but like by the time you get through a lot of the like actual build phase, you've been regulated such that your plans and build are obsolete now. And since it takes so
interesting.
long, yeah, it ends up being like a similar failure rate to ML. So I'm wondering now, like, is that our plan to take these like highly, like, failure-ridden energy projects and use them to
I
fund,
think that
like,
is actually.
fuel the
And
future of these high failure tech projects? Like,
well,
is
it's
this a
funny. I think
Ponzi
too.
scheme?
You could have been Homer Simpson actually. That would have been
Yeah,
hilarious.
dude, I would have been real good at that.
I mean, there's still a chance. So
There's always a chance. Maybe I'll go work at one of these nuclear power plants for AI, Like someone's got to turn it on.
turn them on
Flip the
like a
switch.
switch. Yeah,
My
it's so
job here
cool.
is done. Hey, I watched Chernobyl on HBO, okay? I know
Whoa.
what can go wrong. I'm very well versed in this.
That was a good show, by the way.
That was a great show. That was a
Show or
really good
movie? It was
show.
a series, right?
Yeah,
I
I
can't
guess it
remember.
was like a limited mini series.
Yeah, yeah.
They did a
We
good
need more
job.
of that here.
Yeah,
Like,
I liked that.
yeah,
A nice cautionary tale.
yeah. So cautionary. We're gonna go
We're gonna do
dust
it
off the old
again.
plans. Like, fuck,
We
it
definitely
could
didn't
happen.
learn.
No, it is fascinating. But like Europe, though, they want to. I think France they have a initiative announced last week. What was it, 200 billion? Is that the number? Some crazy number. But they have a lot of nuclear power plants there. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
if you
do.
go through France, they're everywhere. So I mean, they
Which is
actually might
crazy
have the
because the
advantage.
EU is very regulated, but they've made this work safely for many years.
Yeah, I mean, it works. It
I'm not
works.
like anti-nuclear power either. I think that it's for something like AI too, that you just need like a constant like base load of electricity. I think it's a great solution. It's just
Hmm.
hilarious that like that is that where we're at? Right? Like you said, instead of maybe making like gains in some like, and I'm sure they're looking at all of this, but instead of making gains in like chips and the math and like that, you're just looking to put nuclear power behind it and just keep going like that.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, we got
is
to replace all those engineers, so we need the
so
this
here you
is
have it here
what it
first,
takes.
kids. If you are a software engineer and you're worried about losing your career, just change your title to nuclear engineer and you're ready to go. Go
It's
be
literally
Homer
the same job.
Simpson. It's the same job. There, like, what difference could there be?
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah,
really,
that's
I think that what you do as a software engineer, if you're worried about losing your job, you change your title from software engineer to AI engineer. It's the same shit. They still have to build the infrastructure for this.
oh yeah.
Like someone's got to pipe it together. Someone has to understand like clean architecture principles. It's all the same stuff you've been doing. It's just you're hitting OpenAI's API now instead of whatever else you were.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, right before we were on the call, I mean, I was using Copilot, right? I
Yeah,
mean, and they just rolled out Copilot agents, which I want to go check out.
yeah.
And I'm curious about that. But I think it's one of the suppositions too, is like use a really big word. That's one of the ideas is that agents will agents, not Asians, agents will do do a lot of the work. And so it's funny, and I think, on the theme of AI hype, the agent is definitely red hot right now. Like, it's supposed to be the year of agents. And nowhere do I see agents that are like enterprise grade with the security and everything else. It's like, if this is a year, they better be really good within a few months.
The
So,
security aspect of this has me so in my feels about this whole thing because people they talk about security for this the same way they talk about all of this, which is just buzzwords dumped into a
mhm.
PowerPoint. I don't think anyone's actually taking any of the security pieces of this as seriously as they should, and I think it's going to blow up spectacularly.
It's very possible. I mean,
I
but this
mean,
is,
people are the kinds of things that I have seen and the horror stories I have heard from working in security with like how the ingenuity that people have to mess with things is astonishing. And now the people who want to hack your stuff also have AI to help them hack your stuff.
mhm.
They're getting so much smarter. Like, it's crazy. And the kinds of security stuff people are doing is just like, can they, bully the agent into saying some shit it shouldn't say?
Yeah.
They're not thinking of any of this other crazy stuff. Like, no one's actually having a conversation about like the infrastructure if it's secure. Like, everyone's doing RAG. Is
Mm,
what's going to happen there when someone's able to hack into that shit? You know what I mean? Like
hmm.
maybe I'm paranoid because I've like seen so many remote code execution hacks in my life, but I'm like,
Well, I mean, he used to
you,
work in security. I don't know. You probably know a thing or two.
yeah, you gotta get. You know what you have to have? You need to hire a bunch of AI engineers who are former software engineers who just changed their names on their resume, which we love. You also need to hire like an old, jaded cybersecurity professional, like the guy that no one wants to be around. Like you interview him and you're like, ugh,
Yeah.
that's who you need. Like you need this super negative doomsday dude, just like at every step telling you why you're fucking up. And unless you are willing to face that guy and actually fix your stuff, you're gonna get hacked. So it's like, do you want to just get yelled at by that dude or yelled at when you get called out in the Wall Street Journal for leaking data? I don't know.
And who's
It's
that
your
guy? So
choice.
he would have his phone on a belt clip.
He would absolutely have his phone on a belt clip. He might still have a pager.
He might in a jawbone. Like,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely he
But that's the guy
would.
you want. Yeah.
That's the guy you need.
I've worked with
You
that guy
need this
before.
grizzled veteran. No one wants him in meetings. People are like, should we add Tom to the meeting? And everyone's like, no, please. But you do, because you have to. And everyone's like, ugh. He's like, actually, I have something to say. And we're like, of course you do. You need that guy, man. It's going to get rough out
What
there.
happened? What happened to the Toms? Where did they all go?
I don't know. People have thought they don't need them. They're about to learn a
Hmm.
hard lesson, though. The Toms, their bedside manner could be better, but like they're valuable. They have good insights. I don't know.
I don't know. You might end up dating a Tom someday. I don't know, Carly.
Well, someday. What makes you think I haven't already?
True.
That's why I know all about these Toms.
Yeah, they're real annoying.
No one wants them
Just
around,
yeah, especially me.
especially me. Um,
Yeah, that's
yeah, I don't
funny.
know. I think it's all just, I don't know. It feels like signaling right now. It feels like posturing. It feels like posturing and hoping that they can actually manifest it. It's
Hmm.
very Gen Z coded. It's Zuck is having his manifestation year. You know what I mean? I think he's trying to manifest all of this into reality by just stating it as a fact and
Mm.
hoping that no one notices. But like he hasn't been a real boy long enough for him to be able to pull it off effectively. You know
Well,
what I
this
mean?
is this is his chance though to have Riz and do jujitsu and like
Every real boy's dream.
yeah. I mean, well, I mean,
There
it's
go
kind of
our hopes of ever working at Meta. Thanks, Joe.
I do jits. I could probably get a job there. Just that
That's
qualifies
true.
me for sure.
I'm too manly for Meta. I don't think they'd like it. They say they
What do
want
you mean?
masculine energy, but they this is what real masculine energy looks like. You might not like it, but it's the truth.
This is what real masculine energy looks like, actually. It's like
Ugh,
elder
yeah,
Carly. Yeah,
up
it's
to millennial Carly.
well. I mean, what about the other companies, right? So, 'cause you're talking like, you know, so we're talking like mass layoffs happening right now with engineers. I mean, Amazon's uh, doing that. Microsoft, Salesforce. I mean, they all just they just keep dialing it up. It's like, oh, yeah, Salesforce just laid off, quite a few people at the beginning of the year,
They had to
or a few
pay
weeks ago. Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey's salary. He's expensive. That's so weird though, because I see these marketing budgets for these companies so that they can just go on into the Super Bowl and say AI. That's it. They pay all
Hmm.
this money just to do that.
That's right. It was. Yeah.
Is there a plan? There's no plan. I don't think there's a plan. I'm starting to feel like there's no plan and they're just
Well,
spending all this money to say that they're doing the thing and then the thing is calling OpenAI's API. Why isn't it not just called the Open API? They're calling the Open API.
they just missed a P in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. It does remind me of the .com era
right?
quite a bit, where it was come to your website or go to AOL or whatever, right? And so, but back in the same time, like the game theory was very similar, where if you're not doing it, you're kind of obsoleted, right? And so you have to have an AI ad at the Super Bowl. You have to have the billboards. You have to have Matthew McConaughey or whoever it was back in the day, or George
Probably still
Clooney.
Matthew McConaughey.
Well, he's a pretty good actor.
He's
But
actually 200 years old. Nobody knows.
but yeah, I mean there's definitely the same uh I think the same motivations are there, because it definitely is a land grab. And the thing is, most of these companies won't be around. That's just kind of how it is. I mean,
Yeah,
OpenAI is, who knows what happens to that corporate structure, but it seems like everyone who was early on there has left basically, and
yeah,
so it's and even the other day, like some VC was telling OpenAI employees, like, you should just stay there because your stock could be worth something someday.
yeah,
And they're like,
yeah,
well, maybe it will. Maybe it won't. But the thing is, if you leave there, you can go probably get a job wherever you want, get billions of dollars thrown at you for an idea because you're cool.
yeah.
So that's what people want to do. But a lot of engineers who get laid off from the especially from the big tech companies, I mean, they don't have that luxury. I guess you get to join the breadline with everyone else who's now looking for
Yeah,
work. So, what are you
yeah.
hearing out there in terms of people who have been laid off? Is it what's finding a job like?
It's awful. Like every single person I talk to is having a hell of a time. I think it's the supply. I will say one thing about like the tech market right now. I think the supply and demand situation has become untenable. There's too many people graduating with computer science degrees, and there's just not enough work right now for people
Mm,
as layoffs continue to happen. And like it is so hyper competitive, especially if you're in like the junior to mid-level
mm,
range. It's just a blender. You just
mm.
get churned through. It's a mess. Yeah. And it's rough because I think, like we talked about last time, right? Like education is so far behind that all these people are graduating into a world that existed 4 years ago that
Yeah.
doesn't exist anymore under the pretense of what they were told 4 years ago and probably continue to be told to this day by their college advisors and counselors.
Oh, for
But it's
sure.
not real. It's not real anymore.
Oh no, I mean, some of the schools I advise, right? I mean, universities. I mean, they treat it very much like, well, it's a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's how many students can you get in paying tuition? How much money can you make off of it? Um, the only check and balance on that really is job placement rates.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so but I mean, I know that that's not what it used to be. I mean, you could, and the thing is, a lot of the students who are signing up for these programs too, whether it's data or comp sci, whatever, it's like quite a few foreign students in the States. And as far as I know, most universities make them pay full tuition.
Oh yeah.
And upon graduation, you have what, like, I think 90 days to find work.
That's so stressful. I can't
That's
even
super
imagine.
stressful. Yeah. So, I mean, I speak at, quite a few really top tier institutions, just guest lecturing. And inevitably, the questions from the students are, how can I get work and how can I get ahead on this? And I'm like, well, it would be
Get a
really good if
time
you could start
machine.
now. Got a time machine and maybe, yeah, it sucks though. I mean, because it's not like these are very prestigious schools.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names, but it's and
You're not speaking at DeVry Institute, is what you're telling me.
that's actually where my next course is coming out is DeVry. Just kidding.
Stop.
And Stephen Henniger's college. So, um, if you go there, great institutions. But yeah, they don't teach data engineering, so whatever.
Yeah.
But University of Phoenix, I'm just kidding, that
Yeah.
doesn't even exist anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
for the very virtue of the job placement rates too, they would just bilk students for tuition, and then you'd be with a university. I mean, you're better off putting money into like to a coin or something like that. It just like like um
But that's true, right? Like that is the only check and balance for universities is
mhm,
if they actually are holding and publishing and communicating their job placement rates for their programs.
mhm. Yeah,
And they're not doing any sort of like fuckery with the numbers.
right, right.
So presumably one goes in with eyes wide open that job placement rates are getting worse. But what happens when you're already 2 or 3 years in?
Well, I
It's
mean,
not worth the ROI to change. Like, because what do you do? Then you're going to
yeah.
add another year or two and a more student debt. Maybe if you're an international student, it can buy you time, but I don't know how those visas work. I don't know if you have to graduate in 4 years. Like, I don't know what the rules are.
Hmm.
Can you just be a super senior and take a lap year, you know?
I think you'd end up going to grad school.
That's grad school has become the lap year of just like
Yeah,
trying to wait it out.
but then
And
who the
that
hell
creates
knows?
even more problems, right? Because now the workforce has a bare minimum, like a master's degree is the new bachelor's degree,
Oh
which I'm
yeah.
not saying is bad. I think people should be educated, but the problem is like then it loses its value, right? Like
Hmm.
we're devaluing everything with this, like, I don't know.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
and
always
especially.
untenable though, right? Like
Oh
it wasn't
yeah.
sustainable for tech to keep growing in that way.
But that was the I think the common refrain was, go into tech, learn STEM because this is where the future is. These are the jobs. And now you're told, well, never mind. The engineering, it's a lost cause because it'll be all automated by AI soon. Um, and it's funny. I mean, I was at, let me see if I can find this picture here. I was at my son's basketball game the other day. He's
Aw.
really tall. He's not like me. He's really short. But there was where was this? Yeah, STEM night. Right. So this is at a school there.
Whoa.
STEM night, but I'm like, okay, so you can learn about like astronomy, cool TSA projects, TSA, transportation safety. Okay, yeah. So I'm like, they'll probably get their funding cut. So,
Yeah.
um,
Not a good bet.
VR and a planetarium. So I mean, A for effort for that kind of stuff. But I'm like, what? No
It's
one on
good
that
they're
list is AI. AI's
trying.
not there.
Yeah. I don't
But
want to like shit on educators either who are doing their best to like bring. I think that there's a lot of people who are trying to,
Yeah,
no
they
one
are.
sets up to do this job thinking like I'm gonna screw over students, right? Like teach them. You wouldn't be a teacher. Like it's actually something you do if you want to help people. But there's just it's they're given an impossible task because basically
Hmm.
they're being asked to predict the future. None of us can do that.
Well, especially right now, everything changes quite
No
fast.
way.
Yeah,
No way. So what are
yeah.
kids being told? Do you know? You have kids. What are they being told to study now? It's still STEM. Are they telling them
I
to
don't
like?
even
I've
know.
heard a lot of talk about the trades now. We're having a trade renaissance, which I love.
I think
Like
it's
go
awesome.
be an electrician. Like those jobs pay so well, and you don't have to get into debt for college. I think that's amazing. But then we're
Yeah.
gonna have too many electricians. Like I only have so many lamps. I don't know. Like
I
then what
don't
do you
know. I
do?
mean, I think there's definitely a shortage, at least a perceived
Yeah,
one. I mean, you call a plumber or an electrician to do stuff. I mean,
they
you
make
might be waiting
bank
a
and it takes
while.
a
They make a
long
lot of
time.
money. I mean, yeah, we had I mean, it's funny, anyone who's handy because nobody wants to do it anymore. And I suppose, with the immigration stuff happening, I mean, that's probably going to open up a lot of jobs.
That's
Like
a
a friend
good
of mine that
point.
runs a roofing company and said that, one day like 130 workers didn't show up.
Oh man, that's
So,
rough.
yeah, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so I mean, so the gap's going to be there for sure if you wanted to get. I mean, but the thing is, I mean, I used to be a journeyman level floor installer. You can make
It's
good money
hard work.
back in the 90s. I mean, I was making like 1,000, 2,000 bucks a day.
Damn.
So I could do it because it was pretty mindless work, and you could make good money, and I could just go rock climb the rest of the week and not care. But like, but that's not the job you would like say, oh yeah, I want to do that, like getting out of high school. But maybe you do
Yeah.
now, right? I mean, even
I
my
think
kids, I
those are
think,
looking more attractive
well,
now
they are. I
because
mean, my oldest
college
son,
isn't
he's
looking that attractive
no,
anymore. I don't
I
think.
think it's not what it used to be. And every, professors I talk to, they're definitely struggling to figure out kind of the place in the world right now. I mean, how do you introduce AI into, the curriculum? How do you manage students' use of it? How do people learn? Like, what is learning these days, right?
Yeah.
I have a lot of books. People don't read these. So
ChatGPT read it for me.
I read it for you. But that's just it. The nature of learning's changing. I mean, my oldest kid though, he's definitely looking at the trades, and I'm like, because he's not dumb. I mean,
Does he use AI?
he not too much. He's kind of he knows all about it. He's just like it's kind of dumb.
Okay.
Like he thinks he's a really good artist, and he just thinks like AI art is like horrible. He can spot it a mile away. He's like, that's
Yeah.
AI. That's an AI
Is he
image. And he's like, it's
Gen
not.
Alpha?
He was born in 2010, so whatever that is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
I
Alpha.
think so.
Yeah, but the kids, I mean, they're smart. They know what's going on, and think even my youngest kid, who's 11, I mean, they're all cognizant of the fact that like the world's changing. And they definitely ask the question, well, is AI going to do that? Uh, so I mean, they know they ain't stupid.
Yeah,
They probably have a better idea about this than a lot of adults actually. Just because when you're an
probably.
adult, you kind of have this idea like, well, my job, you couldn't do it with AI. And I'm like, well, maybe you could, maybe you couldn't. But the thing is, if you extrapolate out 10 years, maybe you could, or at least, but the thing is, it's not just doing a job, but it's eating away at the tasks that you do.
Hmm.
So you don't even need to wholesale replace somebody. You could just, so the nature of the jobs will change. The kids see this and they're like, well, maybe there's something better just to work in, in the world of atoms.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. It's interesting too because like the more I think about it, the more I think like, when I was having my burnout episode, all I could think of
which
and what we were
one?
talking about, I don't know, the ongoing one.
It's like that's your
Uh,
entire life, Carly.
yeah, seriously. I kept thinking like, God, it would be so nice to go work at Home Depot, go work outside.
Yeah.
Like I love gardening. What if I could just do that? And then I'm like, maybe that's where we'll head. Like all the humanity that AI can't take away, go work for the Forest Service while they're going to get defunded. Go work
Yeah.
as a gardener. Go work
Go be a
as,
logger.
like in Severance. Go be a night gardener. Like I think that's what I want my next role to be, a night gardener. You
What's
know,
that?
have you been watching Severance?
No. I
Oh,
did.
dude, please watch this before the next time we talk. I cannot
Okay.
talk to you until you watch this.
Thank
There's a
you.
night gardener. Joe, I'm disappointed in you.
Well, what else is
Watch
new?
more television, man. God.
Severance. Okay. It's on Apple TV. I'll go
Yeah.
watch it. It
It's
looks funny.
actually, you're gonna love it. It's really good. It's very strange. And there's this one part where she was like, I went outside and all I saw was this gardener. And it was like, she was clearly lying. And he was like, at night? A night gardener? And she was like, yeah, I guess so. A night gardener. So that's my next role. I'm I'm looking for a night gardener role. I feel like it's like a gardener, but maybe more gothic,
Yeah.
like a little edgier.
Well, you have some goth
Plant
clothes.
stuff you
You
can
could,
only plant at night.
yeah,
Illegal stuff, like hemlock and weed.
nightshade and stuff. Oh, that's fun.
Wow, we got
I do
way
know.
off the rails.
Not really. I
Proud
mean,
of
but I
us.
do know engineers are that quite a few. I mean, it's like at some point people burn out on tech and do other stuff. Some become DJs. Like I think
That
Zach
sounds
Wilson's
dope.
brother actually, Jacob. I DJ'd with him once, and he
Really?
used to be a software engineer. Yeah, and then he
That's
just
cool.
quit, and now he just makes music full time. So
Good for him.
yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
awesome. It's really cool to see. A good dude. And I mean, even Zach, I mean, he quit working at big tech 'cause he's just like, I just want to go do something else. And so, I
Yep.
mean, I remember when he was, this is many, many months before he made his exit, but, you could definitely tell the writing was on the wall with him. Just his disposition was like, he was
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah.
So, and that happens. Even Seattle Data Guy did the same thing.
Yeah.
Ben, who's actually Denver Data Dude, not,
Denver data dude now. You know
yeah.
what's crazy though? I guess this is a part of this cycle that we haven't discussed is that people are also super burned out and leaving if they
Oh,
can.
big time.
So like maybe there will be some sort of mass replacement. There will be like an exodus of all of us who just burned ourselves out in the blender of tech. And then there will be space for new hiring, but not in the way that it used to be, not at the rates of COVID and the way that it was, but I think a
Yeah.
lot of us millennials are burning ourselves out and making room for Gen Z, so you're welcome. You're welcome. I walked
Well,
so
walk
you
me
could
through the burnout.
run.
Like what, so I mean, walk me through the burnout if you want, but it's like um, what was going on?
I honestly, I think it's like years and years of just having to be on the cutting edge of things and then feeling like there's always more to do and less that you can accomplish every day. Like that's the best way I can phrase
Mm,
it is just feeling like your to-do list is ever growing and then being
yeah.
able to chip away at it is impossible. And I understand that a lot of people feel that way. That's not inherent to tech. But I think the devaluing of tech workers on top of that, right? Like, I'm not immune to the posturing of Meta saying they're going to replace us all. Like,
Hmm.
that wears on your psyche of being like, ah, shit, I went, I spent my life trying to become a chemist only to become disillusioned and realize those weren't real jobs, to go to tech and think that this was the forever. And the same thing is happening. And after a while, you just kind of become worn down by the rat race and the hamster wheel. And I don't know why my doorbell keeps ringing. I'm very sorry.
I can't even hear it.
Oh, that's great. Good. Noise canceling is working. I think one of the dogs is messing with the door and just keeps triggering the motion detector. Let me
Oh,
turn
that's
let me
funny.
turn it off. Yeah, they like to play right in front
Because
of it.
everyone go rob Carly's house right now.
Yeah. To come over. All my cameras are off. All right, it's off now. We're safe. Well, I'm not safe, but the
Oh,
stream is
actually, you're
safe.
more vulnerable than ever,
I'm
actually.
more
So,
vulnerable than ever.
night gardeners will be coming by soon. So,
Come on, guys. Just come on. I'm already burned out. Come at me. Please, put me out of my misery. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't. But if you do, I can give you my Starbucks order.
what's your Starbucks order?
Tall oat milk latte with blonde espresso.
Jesus,
It's the only espresso that doesn't taste bad. Their coffee doesn't taste very good, but I like the experience.
the experience, like the
Yeah. Like driving through, it's like,
okay,
there's something nice about it. It feels like a
yeah,
simpler time.
it is a
I don't
simpler
even
time.
go inside.
Oh,
I
you
just
don't?
like driving through the drive-through. I like someone handing me my treats through the window of my car, and then I can roll up my window.
What after that you go to like Chick-fil-A or Wendy's or something?
No, I get a pup cup for my dog.
Oh, that's
We
cute.
drive down the street and I hold it for him, almost crashing my car. drinking my latte, and then I think about my life. And then Chick-fil-A's for the afternoon. Chick-fil-A's
Yeah.
breakfast is okay. I will say their
It's not,
breakfast is pretty
it's
okay.
okay. Yeah.
But their Chick-fil-A's fucking bomb, man. I don't
Oh, it's
know.
good. It's good.
I know
And
they're
then,
not the best company. Like they don't have the best reputation, but they do have the best fast
I
food chicken
think it
sandwiches.
depends. Like I visited their headquarters once.
Really?
Yeah, and it was in Atlanta, and I've never seen such a strong company culture
I
and
like
a
that.
positive company culture as Chick-fil-A. Like you know why you're there.
Yeah.
And they make no illusions about, they're very family and Christian oriented. And if that's your scene, then it's the great place. Like, and
Yeah.
it was interesting. I mean, some bigwig took my tray. I was like, I can do that. And it's like, no, it's my pleasure to help you. And I'm like, okay,
It's
the my
giving
pleasure thing.
cult vibes.
Well, I it
You're
was
like, do I
interesting
like this or am I freaked out by this?
well, the behavior you see at the with the Chick-fil-A employees, where they're like, it's my pleasure to
Mm-hmm.
serve. I mean, that literally is the line that, top to bottom people use. And everyone there really loves working there. Like I have friends who could work at big tech companies and make a lot of money, and they just like working there because it's like family is really important and so forth. And I was like, okay, so this is if you want to see a strong company culture, think what you will about political leanings or whatever, but
Like how
Chick-fil-A
they
I think is
implement that might not be my bag, but I guess yeah,
I'm
if you're gonna live your values, it really does have to be top
Oh yeah,
down.
I mean Truett Cathay, the guy who started it. I mean, mad respect to him, but he made a company where it's the company he wanted to build, and he built it. And you can, if you like working there, then great. I mean, I was like, yeah, I've never seen, just to the T. Everybody was like, I love working here. Here's why I love working here, and that's cool. But the food's really good too. And the
Yeah.
cafeteria there, by the way, it's amazing. So you
Do they
could,
do like experimental stuff in the cafeteria?
I don't know, they
Do you
had
get to
seasonal
like beta
stuff.
test stuff?
I would hope so. Like that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be
Like they
awesome.
had like peach shakes, which are good in the summer. Like they had
Oh, the
that. That
peach
was
shakes
great.
are so good.
They're so good.
They're
Yeah.
so good.
But I would be like 500 pounds if I worked there in HQ.
Same.
Like I would be on like a one of those scooters.
A rascal.
Yeah. Just
You'd be on your rascal zooming through town.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, that's great. And maybe that's what tech lost. I think we all made
Hmm.
fun of it when they did it because it was very clearly disingenuous to try to do the like, we're family. I don't need that level of commitment
Yeah.
from my job. But like some bare human, like giving a shit about people, I guess is bare minimum. And
Hmm.
maybe I took that for granted. And now that it's gone, it's kind of like, oh man, it is weird to be just treated like cattle. And it's very clear. I think we talked about this before, where like the company cares about you, you care about the company. That's just gone now. That's just,
Yeah.
it's gone. It's not seemingly coming back. Um,
No, it's like
so I think
it's
that leads
almost
to the burnout. But then you
oh
like
for
wonder,
sure.
there's all these engineers who want to get back into it. And it's for the money. I get that. Like, do what you
Hmm.
got to do to make money. But if you're looking for fulfillment and long-term happiness, I wonder if tech is the place anymore. It used to seem like it was the place where you could grow and do cool stuff. And now, what are they selling other than telling you that you suck and we're going to replace you with AI?
I mean, that's kind of what they're selling right now is you suck and we're going to replace you with AI. I mean,
Yeah. But
but
Matthew McConaughey says it so it doesn't feel so bad.
well, he says in like that nice
He
drawl,
he
like
delivers it with yeah, it feels
he's the
better.
kind of guy
Like
I'd want if you had somebody who's going to put you on a pip. I think Matthew McConaughey would be like
I'd accept it.
the guy to do it. Yeah, he'd be like,
It would feel
thanks.
better. Yeah, you'd somehow leave thinking like he was a really good guy.
I thought he was in Wolf of Wall Street, and like that. I think that's kind of where tech feels like it's going towards is more like how
Yeah.
finance has been for ages, where it's just you know why you're there. There's
Yeah, no one makes any bones about it.
hmm
Everyone knows.
yeah, and I
I
mean
also
there's
kind of
smaller
like that.
firms.
It's an embrace. They embrace what they're doing.
Hmm.
We're all here to make money. We don't want to be here. We're all going to try to retire by the time we're in our 40s.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what finance has always been about.
Well, and you saw a lot of finance bros going into tech. Either VCs or going to do
Yeah,
biz dev or whatever. So I mean, that was
that's
like the
true.
hot thing in the 2010s was Wall Street wasn't the cool place anymore. It was tech companies, and so they
Yeah.
all went there. And um,
Hmm.
and maybe they're back in finance now, who knows? But I mean, yeah, it definitely feels like, especially at the big, there's obviously smaller companies where it's definitely more like really family like, especially in like Utah, for example. I mean, everyone's got literal families, and the culture here is, I think it's a lot more amenable to people. Like, it's got its own
Yeah.
problems, but I think it's definitely family focused where, everyone here is like 6 kids or something like that. So you got to get
Yeah.
home at some point to go
I
take care
don't
of.
hate that. They actually understand that people have lives outside of work, and that's
Yeah,
important to them.
it's real important. Yeah. Whereas big tech, it's like, I mean, if you go to Google's office, for example, I mean, it's set up where like you could pretty much live there
Yeah.
if you wanted.
They'll
And that's
roll a
the whole
cot
point.
into your office if you ask for it.
Yeah. I mean, Elon does it. So, I mean,
He likes
it's
to sleep on the floor, though, I think.
with his blanket.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
digs it.
But that's, the stuff that Doge is doing, though, is also sending a clear signal to everybody in, right now that it's just like, fuck you, we're here to, it's all about the bottom line or whatever other motivations, they have, but it's clearly not about, the worker anymore. And I think it used to be. The federal government was a good place to work. People were proud of that. And, I know in Ogden, Utah, just north of here, I mean, they're going to be laying off, I think, probably 10,000 people at the IRS this week.
Damn,
Um, which is, I think that office alone up there,
that
that's,
sucks.
the upper number I heard, but that's a lot of people who are now just like on the street. Who knows what the hell
Yeah.
they do?
God, they're gonna just be like rabid looking for taxes to do. It's scary. Okay, but here's the thing. I'm laughing now, but like actually this conversation has given me a very visceral feeling of the future where
Hmm.
when young people feel like they can't get a job, when existing employees feel completely devalued and you have no stability in your job, what that usually leads to, at least in other countries and other democracies, is not good.
Hmm.
Like, that's like fast track to a revolution.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't think that that's out of the cards at all. You can
I
have a lot
mean,
of disgruntled
right?
people.
Like, when we're
Well,
talking about like what does the future look like, it could very well look like that
oh yeah.
instead of just being a bubble that corrects itself. And I think that's what's kind of scary right
Well, I
now.
mean, that's how it corrects itself.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of polarization, and even in with the USDA funding getting cut. I mean, that a lot of rural people, like farmers and whatnot, are not getting paid, and like you're seeing just the trickle effects of all this stuff, and there's gonna be a lot of pissed off people really soon, I think. So
Yeah.
and that's so it's interesting in that note because if you oh, my dog.
Hi, puppy.
She knows how to open doors. It's cute.
That's crazy. I didn't think doodles were that smart.
She's pretty smart, aren't you?
They're so cute.
They are. They're fluffy and yeah.
They're
Hi, we're just
sweet.
talking about dystopia. So
That she heard you talking about the revolution and she
she
wants
was,
to
I want
join.
in. Um,
The
but
revolution will be led by doodles.
that would be pretty cute, actually.
I'd
But
follow them anywhere. I'd follow them into battle.
oh yeah, she's I think she wants to go on a hike in a bit. So,
Aw.
like it's dumping snow, but I'll take her anyway. But yeah, I mean, it is interesting, and you're absolutely right. Like and you compare that to places like if I go to like Finland, for example, which I talk about a lot. It's because it's the happiest country in the world. Like there's highest social trust with people trust the government, people trust each other. Um, you know, it's just you come here and it's the exact opposite. It's just like everyone's fucking pissed all the time. Like
Mm-hmm.
America, I've been commenting for years. It feels like America's like the land of the meltdown. Then you have all this other stuff on top of it, and it's just people are just angry as hell. And my some of my favorite things to watch on Instagram are just Karen videos,
I love
just people yelling at
Karens.
each other in parking lots and
Yeah.
Wendy's and stuff. It's hilarious, but
The meltdowns have been more frequent now too. I mean, we've all seen the
tons.
stats from the airlines, right? The number
Oh
of
geez,
like unruly passengers and stuff.
yeah, you're one of them. I'm just kidding.
Always.
Yeah, I'm like that on Frontier. I'm just kidding.
On Frontier, you're just one of many. You're not
True.
even, that's not even weird to act that way on Frontier. It's when I
Don't-
get into like a Delta plane that I have problems because I bring my Spirit Airlines attitude into the Delta first class and it is a class.
Where they also serve drinks. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I'm going to be curious to see. Maybe this will be the follow up conversation, but it's there's yeah, it feels like this last like 2025 just I think as you pointed out it started off just it's a different vibe
Hmm.
this year, and it's only like February right now, so
It feels so long. 2025 already feels like it should be over.
I know, this feels like years. It feels like when COVID happened. It's just like, it just
Like,
weeks.
what is time? Weeks blend into weeks.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't even have any advice for people right now. Like, if tech feels like a slog and it feels shitty, get out of it, I guess is my advice. Like, go do something else. It'll be here maybe when we get back and decide we want to be a part of it again.
Yeah.
And if you've already invested a bunch of time and money and you're just looking for a job, like, you just have to keep going. I guess like get some AI engineering skills though, right? Like
Oh yeah.
learn how to build AI applications.
Oh yeah. And Chip
Read
Coyne's
Chip's
new
new book.
books. It's
Yeah,
great.
she's
Yeah.
great. Read her new book and
Yeah.
like apply it and change your title on your resume to AI engineer from software engineer.
For sure. And then deep learning AI has a lot of great courses on AI engineering and
Yeah,
different aspects of that. I would say invest. I was actually just having this conversation the other day with a good friend of mine. She's a data engineer and looking to learn machine learning and AI and so
yeah,
forth. And it's like, okay, so one path I recommended the hard way is to start with machine learning and build your skills up. I take Andrew's two classes, machine learning and then was it
learn the
deep
math,
learning?
hate your life.
Yeah, and I'm like, but nowadays if you just wanted to know how to use stuff like Anthropic, more easily, there's other things you can do. There's plenty of great
Hmm.
courses, and so and I think that's and as you have time, learn this stuff. But yeah, the transition to AI, I mean, I think everybody's going to be an AI engineer, quote unquote. I mean, you kind of already are, but the skill sets,
Yeah,
like I can write code. I was just writing code literally before a call, but then now I'm like, well, AI's super helpful. Like, why wouldn't I
yeah,
use it? But this
yeah.
also means too, like, I'm definitely senior level or above, and but I know what to look for. I know when things aren't working and how to debug. And the problem is, I feel, and this is being borne out in a lot of conversations, is the ability to know what good looks like or, um, to scale a project. Like I feel the skills might be lost.
Yeah.
So,
That was
I mean,
always the part of engineering that I think engineers probably conflicted with management the most on was
mm,
putting that work into not accumulating so much tech debt is a constant conflict point
oh
between
yeah,
deliver it now and deliver it well. And like I feel like good engineers were the only ones holding the line
yeah,
of like overwhelming tech debt. And who's going to do that now?
yeah. And guys like Tom, the
Yeah,
security
Tom.
guy,
I mean,
yeah.
the guy you don't want to be around. I get it. But like you need him.
Could Tom become a bot, do you think?
I don't know. It would have to be trained on 4chan, and you'd have to take the guardrails off on shit that you can't say at work. But everyone needs a Tom. Like, man, these old grizzled vets who understand security, like, I don't know, who have seen stuff break, who
Yeah,
know that everything is all the same at the end of the day, right? They're not
but
frazzled by novelty. They're not lost in the weeds of like the new big shiny thing. They
hmm
just think like an adversary and they know how to break it.
yep. And they're really good at it.
They're very good at it.
Yeah, and that's I think one of the things that's going to be missing is if you don't have. It's kind of like having a hard coach, right? Like you hate them at the time, but you're going to like them for what they turned you into.
Yeah, exactly.
But if engineers don't have those kind of people around, it definitely is going to be fascinating to see how this goes. Yeah, because you're absolutely right that just that rigor and discipline isn't going to be there.
No.
So, and you'll just have AI take care of all your tech debt or create more tech debt for you. I
Yeah, it's
mean,
just gonna make more while trying to fix it.
yeah. So I think that maybe that's a reversion too. Is at some point, maybe there's a renaissance or because I think we're overcorrecting definitely in one
Yeah.
area right now where it's try and do everything with AI, but I think the pendulum will have to swing back at some point. And the thing is, prompting is one of these things where you have to kind of know what you want, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the other part where companies are
Yeah,
just
right?
don't know what they want. So it should be
Exactly.
interesting. Well, cool. Anyway, let's let's chat a bit soon. But
Okay.
yeah, have a nice day. I hope you can go get yourself a nice
You too.
blonde espresso.
I'm gonna go to Starbucks. I'm gonna go drive
I was
through the
about to say, you
Starbies.
seem like you need one. So, especially after
All
talking to
right,
me, you're
dude.
just like,
Yeah,
Jesus
right.
Christ, get me out of
God
here.
damn it.
All right.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, see ya. Bye.